Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Excuse me, I'm eating fruit snacks.
Disrespect, dude. The amount of disrespect to our listeners.
You started it right in the middle. I just put a strawberry
I
fruit
didn't know you're
snack.
gonna go shoving your face with fucking children's snacks, dude.
Oh. Anyway, whatever, dude. Say hi to these people, for God's sake.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Drew over here, and I am not eating anything, so you can hear me clearly.
Well, my name is Jimmy, and I eat fruit snacks whenever the hell I want to eat fruit snacks. Welcome back. It's Friday 15 on you freaks. Good to have you listening. It's been an awesome week for me, for you. Even if you think it hasn't, it has. Shut up. Embrace the positive. Let's talk, dude. Let's talk about
Let's talk about it.
the fact that I missed another day on the Freedom 5 burpee push-up squat challenge. And there are no excuses. No such thing. There's only reasons and opportunities to get better. My reason that I missed last night on the challenge is I fell asleep, dude.
Oh, dude. You got it, man. I mean, I don't mind because that money's coming right to me, bro.
You know, the problem is I'm not prioritizing it enough to make sure it gets done. And because I'm not making it a priority, I depend on okay, I'm going to get it done later. I'll remember to get it done later. Next thing you know, things happen and it doesn't get done. So you got to do it first and foremost. Do it in the morning. My problem is I've been waiting to do it at night. So like last night, for example, was my night to sleep. Lucy was up with the baby. Like, all right, I'm going to get a shower. Then I'll knock them out real quick. Well, next thing you know, like we eat dinner and then this happens. And then I woke up today, bro. That's it. And I lost $3. I woke up today $3 lighter.
Yep. That's why you got to put the Nikes on, bro. Just do it.
So I need to do it right first thing in the morning. There's no opportunity to forget. Prioritize it. Reality is, if you want to do something and then you don't do it, it's because you didn't make it important enough. It's not because, oh, woe is me, something happened to me. No, you didn't make it important enough. And I didn't. So now I'm down 3 bones. I hope you spend them in a way that respects me. You know what I mean?
Thursdays, dollar beers.
There you go. 3 of them on the house. So that's it. You're firing away. You're going to make some cashola.
Yeah. Be a nice little cleanup.
Yeah, if you don't miss, though. There's still a couple of days. Or did you already – you got to hit today, right?
Just one more day, yeah.
You never know what could happen. You could have a kid today and then fall asleep.
Probably not, but maybe.
Never know. It's a crazy world, bro.
Can I just get one in the mail today?
I'll ship you a kid. I got a couple.
All right, man. Well, now that we know that you're slacking off, when it comes to these challenges, we can move on to the topic of the day, which is visual thinking, being more of a visual thinker. And if you think about it, this is how learning for everyone really starts, right? If you watch kids, especially you're like in the prime time for that. How does Elliot learn anything? By watching and just making connections, right?
Oh, bro, just yesterday, it's funny. It's really funny you say that because you're right. I'm right in the middle of it. And kids, like you said, are an example of how easily it's done, how easily it is to learn that way. Because yesterday, the dog has been having a little bit of like anxiety because the house is full of kids and he's not getting no attention. So he's like digging in his paws. And he came over to me yesterday, and the dog did, after I just yelled at him a million times about digging in his paws. And he comes over and like just comes over to me, and I like took my hand and like mushed his face away from me, like playfully. But I'm like, I was like, dude, quit messing with your paws, dude. What's wrong with you? And well, not 2 minutes later, I look over and Elliot runs over to the dog and mushes his face.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, no. Like he doesn't know you're playing. Like
Yeah.
But he's seen me do it. Oh, that's a thing. I can do it. Boom.
Right. Exactly. So, I came across this because I've been trying to be more mindful of like retaining information and kind of making associations and just learning, quicker and being able to retain that information. So, and then I came across a bunch of content on it. So I started looking into it more. And if you think about it, words themselves in a broad sense, they're almost, words don't have the meaning, right? It's the images that the word projects in your mind that allows you to make associations. When you read the word apple, you immediately vision an apple, right? It's not the actual word itself. It's
not the letters. It's the image that the letters create.
And that's what, if you go back to like the hieroglyphics and all that kind of stuff, the imagery, that humans communicate visually, not through words. Essentially, it's all. I mean, that's a part of communication is written form, but it's what comes after that with the connection of words to actual vision of something happening or making associations.
This is some deep ass shit right here.
I mean, words are like abstract, right? You can compile different letters and whatever and make stuff up, but you have to assign meaning to it. And images assign meaning, and images are more concrete than words will ever be. That's why movies and videos and pictures are so powerful, because it tells a story, and you can take that information, and when you're visualizing what's going on, you can make these associations and connections that allow you to remember, because you can attach emotion. It's hard to attach emotion to a written word, but you can attach emotion to a vision or a story or a picture or something that reminds you or has meaning to you.
I started watching a documentary on Netflix I think it's called Brain Games or something like that. And it's about like the Olympics of memorization and these people who have like these crazy abilities to memorize just this 800 numbers in a sequence, random numbers, and they memorize them. Or like a crazy long story, they have to memorize word for word. All these different things, and they kind of compete like that. But I only watched a little bit of it, but as I was watching it, they were talking about how they relate. That's exactly what they do. They relate words, letters, numbers to a story. So to imagery. So if like you got to remember the number 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. They would go, or let's make it a little harder. You go 1, 8, 4, 2. They would go, there's one man sitting on a bench and he ate an apple, or he ate a meal for 2. Right. You know what I mean? And they turn it into imagery. They turn the numbers into imagery, and they're able to create a story from that they can visualize the story and pull the numbers back out. And they're able to remember like thousands of digits in a row, or pi, for example, all the digits of pi, because they create this storyline of imagery.
Yeah, man, it's super interesting to me, because that's how we all learn. That's how we all, there's no translation needed in images, really, because it's all universal. You could break barriers as far as communication goes with people that speak a different language just through expression and picture. If you were somewhere in a different country, you could not speak their language and they could not speak yours, and you were trying to get somewhere, do something, like maybe find some food, right? You could literally grab a piece of paper and a pencil and draw some form of a restaurant or food or whatever, and then they would probably have a general idea what you're trying to get, and then they can draw it like.
Unless you draw like shit.
People can give you directions verbally, or they can draw you a map. Which one is easier?
Give me that map.
And then I was thinking, like, even more, like, in greater detail, applying this to like everyday stuff. Like, this is why vision boards are so powerful, because once you put things on paper and visualize it, it makes it more realistic. And like when you're doing problem solving, or anything mathematical, you can sit here and try and do stuff in your head and think about it, or you can map it out and draw it and visualize it on a piece of paper in front of you. And then how much easier it is to have all the facts in front of you where you're actually looking at it as a picture standpoint.
Yeah.
It allows you to see things at a different angle and then make connections between different ideas and stuff like that. And you have a new perspective on whatever it is you're trying to figure out. And I think the number is like you're between 60 and 70% more likely to retain that and learn that more efficiently, whatever it is, if you're able to use some type of visual thinking in the process. So I've been trying to apply this with everything that I do. That's why now I listen to a ton of audiobooks and podcast stuff. So with that, I'll try and, because I'm not having to physically read a book or whatever, I can get on my laptop or get a piece of paper out and I kind of write the ideas down and make connections on the page. Not necessarily a paragraph format of like typical note taking, but kind of like vision mapping, like what the context of what I'm learning is and how I can associate it to things I already know or things that I want to know. You know what I mean? It's pretty powerful, man. I think it's the way to go. And I think you can apply visual thinking to everything that you're doing, work related stuff, personal relationship stuff, just map it out and allow yourself to step back and look at it.
Yeah.
And like a picture perspective.
And it also applies if you are, if you're trying to explain something to somebody, everyone's experienced this. And this just comes to mind because it happened to me yesterday. I was trying to walk this guy through a process that needs to happen in our warehouse at work. And I was explaining it to him and I could tell he wasn't understanding. So I was trying to explain it differently. He still wasn't understanding. I'm like, tell me what you think I'm saying. What he said didn't make any sense. We were just couldn't get on the same page. So finally I was like, hey, let's go walk out there. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So we went over there and as soon as I showed him, he's like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, duh. Yeah,
Right.
It makes total sense. And you're like, man, all I needed was to show you, and even if when you're explaining something, just like you said, break out a piece of paper. I do that all the time. Like, hey, this machine goes in this rack out there on the backside. Well, I don't know where that rack space is. I'm like, well, here, let me show you. And I just draw it up. If you're walking around this, boom, boom, draw a picture of it. And then they're like, oh yeah, duh. Makes a ton of sense.
Right.
The brain is just like, give me an image, bro.
That's it, man. It seems super simple, and it really is. But how often are you aware of it, or do you make a conscious effort to truly understand what people are saying? And this is why, in like verbal communication, it's important that you're really paying attention to what the other person's saying. You're kind of invested. But meanwhile, when they're telling their story, you have to internally visualize exactly what they're trying to, project to you as far as helping you understand. And then they need your feedback. So you have to be able to apply that, come up with some type of story in your mind, some type of vision, and picture it out. And then, you have to provide feedback to that person in order to make sure you guys are on the same page. How easy was it for you guys to walk out there and look at the warehouse and physically see what you're trying to describe? And it's a no-brainer, right? It's like it's
so easy,
simple.
That's
there you go. Think with your mind and visualize.
Think with your brain.
With your brain, use your brain to think.
Good stuff, man. And use images to help you remember stuff, dude. You could tie it to. I'm horrible at remembering people's names, and that's something that's helped. Is like when I see somebody, I repeat their name when I meet them, but I also like try to notice something about them in the way they look. Like if I meet a guy and his name's Crawford, and he's got a shitty mustache, I'll be like, hi Crawford, nice to meet you. And I make sure in the conversation I use his name a couple times, and especially when we're leaving, it was nice to meet you, Crawford. And in my head, I'm like, nice to meet you, Crawford, with that shitty mustache. Right. And then I can picture it. And then next time I need to think of his name, I think shitty mustache, Crawford, my guy.
Right. No, I went golfing last weekend, and I got paired up with 3 random dudes, and it's always weird if like, cause you introduce each other at the, like before you tee off, and then it's like, fuck, well, then throughout the round, I always used to be like, I want to be like, here's your ball, blank.
So yeah.
But then I started doing it like associations, and like one of the dudes' name was Brian, so I remember that. So Brian had a blue shirt on. Brian with the blue shirt, you know, and stuff like that. And then there was Scott and there was Paul. I was like, you know, I just associate those names with like people that I kind of already know with that name, you know, so I can assign some type of meaning to it.
Yep.
It works, man. I remember those three dudes' names just now, and I fucking will probably never see them again. You know?
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious. That's great. All right. Well, that's it for us. Remember some shit by thinking visually is what he's trying to get at.
There you go.
So until next time, have a freaking awesome weekend. Enjoy every single moment. Make sure you're in the moment and not thinking about any other moments. You're just in the moment, enjoying your life this weekend. Concentrate on that and grow your brain a little bit too.
That's it. Stay productive and get shit done.